Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Leah. This is Homeschool at Heart, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of the Harbor and Sprout Textile and Fashion unit. Okay, so we just finished the Textile and Fashion unit from Harbor and Sprout, and I loved it so much, you guys. Way more than I thought I was going to, and so I felt like I needed to do a quick flip through of what is in the science and nature study portions of this unit study, because it needs to be out there in the universe. Because when they first announced that they were doing this particular unit, I sent the creator a message and I was like, what? I don't understand. What is the science for this? Because textiles and fashion is right up my alley. Like, I have a background in both of those things. And so, I was like really excited to have that be part of my children's education. But at the same time, I was like very confused about how they would make it suitable for a science curriculum. So it is so good. And I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you guys what we have been working on this month. And it's going to blow your minds. Okay, so I've done a couple of flip through videos like this before, but I will tell you that I do like a student book and also a teacher book. So I'll go through the teacher book first. This is the one that has all of the, so I'm going to show you the teacher book first. This is the one that I have all of the lessons and everything in that I teach from. And then typically the consumables will be in the student book. And then I make 3 of them for my kids. These are leftovers from some animal things that we've done. So if you want to see about that, you can go and watch my other flip through videos. Hopefully I'll be able to link them up here in the corner. So I did print out, usually we just do science and nature study. Sometimes we'll do music and art with this curriculum as well. But I do always go through the whole curriculum to see if there's anything else that I want to print out. So this is a sewing vocabulary. I thought this was a great thing to have to teach my girls. There's always the character of the month. It talks about what a textile designer is. And then lesson plans, which I don't think I'll probably print out next time. I will be doing a how I print my units video next, or at least very soon. I think next. We'll see how it plays out. Then there's a letter from the character of the month. This one has a QR code. Not all of them do that right there, but this unit also included like what you're gonna need for some of the things. This was like we made slime and things like that. So this is week 1. I didn't print out the cover page, I guess. I guess I didn't for any of these, but it didn't. Anyway, so here's week 1. Here's what we needed for activities and things like that. They have video links here. We made slime. Talked about synthetic fibers and what they are. So this one was a fairly short lesson. The science ones, I think, tended to be a little bit shorter. The nature study ones ended up being a lot longer. It's just so you guys know. So week 2 was nylon, talking about how nylon is made. Some different videos and activities for nylon. Here's the materials that you would need. I don't think we did that activity, but polyester. This is actually the most commonly used fiber in the world today. So it talks about how polyester is made, polyester versus cotton, and then there's a test. So here's a video about how it's made. We actually used some fabric with a magnifying glass. We used, or actually we have a pocket microscope, water, sandpaper, tweezers, matches, and a baking sheet. And we had some experiments on cotton versus polyester that was really cool and fun. Polyester versus cotton. Actually, if you guys like want to see us do things day to day, you could subscribe to my Instagram. And we are posting stories all day long usually. All right, microplastics was week 3. So this gets into a little bit of environmental type things and how we can keep our environment safe. There is a short here on this YouTube channel about the activity that we used for microplastics in the food chain. It actually was really fun and cute. So if you want to watch that little short video, you can go check out my YouTube channel and see it. I think it's the 4th one that I have like that. It was a really fun activity. I might insert some clips of that here. There's a cute little poem about tapestry weavers. So this is nature study. Week 1 is cotton. And then let's just see. Let me just show you. Okay, so what is cotton? How is cotton grown? Different types of cotton. This was a really cute video about watching these kind of bloom. But you can see there's a lot of pages to the nature study, and you don't have to do it all, or you could break it up further and just do a little bit at a time. My kids are big enough now that they could do this in one sitting, but it took about an hour to maybe an hour and 15 minutes per nature study lesson, whereas the actual science lesson took much less time, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So here is a diagram. In the student edition, they fill out where all of these parts are. How is cotton harvested? And then how it's made into cloth, and then finally a t-shirt. Again, there's QR codes everywhere, and then these are the activities. So you can make your own cotton flower. We did not do that, but we did this scavenger hunt to find all of the different cotton things around our house. And then we did do this cotton blower stem challenge. If I can get clips from my Instagram, I will insert them here so you can kind of see what we were doing with that. But I think I may have deleted the videos from my phone. So okay, next was bamboo. So again, it was a pretty long lesson. How it's grown, what it is, was on the first page. This was fascinating though. And then the kids have a diagram that has blanks. How to make the bamboo into fabric, and then a bed sheet. Whether bamboo actually is environmentally safe or not. You can grow your own bamboo. We didn't do that, but we made our own art, and we do plan to do this experiment still. We just finished this unit today, but I don't have the unflavored gelatin that I need to actually do this project yet. So next time I can get to the grocery store, we will go back and do this because it looks really cool. Week 3 is wool. So what wool is, how is it grown? Learn a lot about sheep. So again, they have their own one with blanks to fill in. There's a really cool video about sheep shearing in here. So it talks about what needs to be done once it's cut off the sheep. and how it doesn't hurt the sheep to get it from the sheep. So if you're worried about your kid being nervous about that, they do show the entire instrument that they use for that and talk about how it doesn't hurt the animal, and in fact it makes them happier, because then in the summertime they're not covered in very hot wool. There's spindle, talk about a spindle here, and you can actually make your own. We didn't do that, but you could if you have time. We made one of these little sheep. It did not turn out quite as cute as theirs, but you know. And then I didn't do the knitting with kids, and I will tell you why in a second. Nature study week 4 is natural dyes, which we again will be doing once I gathered the supplies. But this was really cool, talking about how we get different colors from things. There's some math involved here in the measuring of how much you need of things. This is a really cool video about a place that actually does a lot of dyes with natural ingredients. And then there is the activity here. You could also do pounded plant and flower prints. This would actually also be a really cool, easy to do, not really experiment, but kind of art project. So that is the teacher materials for this unit. Let me show you our Textiles and Fashion Kids thing. So we have printed out our character, and then the card, what Textiles and Fashion is. I do always print out a few little activities for them to do while they're listening, because some of the lessons get a little long, like those nature study ones. So this is a mannequin. They have clothes that you can cut out and dress the mannequin with. Ellie, this is my daughter Ellie's book. She decided not to do that, but Charlotte cut them out. There's some coloring. There's word searches. So this one is a little easier. This one's a little more difficult. There's a few in here that are a little more difficult. This is a little a story about a magic sewing box. There's Mad Libs, basically. There's a maze. There were a whole lot of cute little activities to do in this one. So I always print out there. It's just pretty. You don't have to print all of that out. But here's our slime worksheet for them. These are some things that are made of nylon. So this was also a scavenger hunt. I'm not sure why Ellie didn't color these in, but in Charlotte's book, she colored in things that she found around the house that were made from nylon. So that was what she was supposed to do. Polyester versus cotton. So here is the worksheets for this. So she described what each of these fabrics looked like under our microscope. This is the water resistant test, the durability test. So this was, we dropped water to see how each one reacted. Then we used sandpaper to see what the fabric looked like if it changed molecularly, so under the microscope. And then we burned some. You were supposed to be able to like peel some of the threads off your piece of fabric, but I have a lot of sewing things here, so I just pulled out some thread from my thread box, and I had some cotton thread and some polyester thread. So we did the burn test with that, and it was really cool. Definitely be standing guard next to your kids when they do that, though. You're using tweezers to hold the thread, so nobody's hopefully going to get burned. But this was that microplastics one that I was saying that I have the short video about on my channel, and it was really fun. So basically you had to put 2 different kinds of beans together. I ended up doing rice as the microplastic and like dried split peas for the plankton. and you had to try to get just the plankton out of the bowl to see what your fish ate, and then, you know, the bigger fish eat the smaller fish, and so on up the food chain, and then you see how much microplastic ends up in the biggest fish. It was really a fun activity to like really see that concept. So some of the worksheets, you can print out ones that have the words at the bottom, or you can print out ones that don't. I chose to do this so that the kids could see the spelling of them. Here's our cotton scavenger hunt. So they went around and found all of the things. And then this is the page that they filled out after making their own simple machine to do their cotton picking. So that was really fun. There's her bamboo. And then this is the one that we still have to do with the bacteria, because I don't have the gelatin yet. Okay, wool. So here's our sheep. And then we made a sheep. Ours is not completely finished. I was trying to figure out how to get these to be like woolly looking, but aren't they cute? So there's our little sheepies. And then the natural dyes didn't have a worksheet because you don't need one. Anyway, so there is that. So I mentioned in the video that I was not doing art with this, and I didn't do the knitting. That's what I was saying. I was like, what did I say? I knew I needed to come back and talk about this. So instead of a different fiber art like knitting, we are doing, I also was reading we're doing a study on Harriet Tubman right now, because the theater that we do a lot of volunteering for is going to be putting on a production of Harriet Tubman this month. So this doesn't really tie in with her story, other than it's it has to do with the Underground Railroad, which of course Harriet Tubman was a well-known conductor for. So I got this quilt sampler book that is called Quilt in a Day, Underground Railroad Sampler. And it's written by people that I have other quilt books by. Anyway, it tells the story for each different kind of quilt square that was used to help the slaves along the Underground Railroad. And so I am making a quilt with my children, teaching them how to do that. I learned how to sew when I was 7. So I'll be making a whole video about this topic very soon, probably long before the quilt is finished. But I wanted to show you guys, my daughters made these log cabin quilt squares last week as we were working on this, and then tomorrow we'll be making a new square. We'll be making the wagon wheel square, but the log cabin signaled a safe house along the Underground Railroad route. So we have enough to make. We chose 9 different ones, and we are enjoying doing that together. But another idea to do if you don't sew, or don't want to learn how to sew, or don't want to teach very young children how to sew, is to make these out of paper, you guys, because this is just such a rich topic of study. So I highly recommend that. The Harriet Tubman book I used is by Youth with a Mission Publishing, so it's ywampublishing.com. The thing is, when you study the Underground Railroad and people who used to be slaves, there's a lot of violence kind of connected with the treatment that they received. So I would caution if your children are very sensitive, then maybe you don't really want to go very deeply into that topic until they're able to handle it. I waited quite a while until I felt like mine were mature enough to talk through that. And I do see it as something that's really important and good for them to know about. So now that they are the ages that they are, I felt like it was that time. But obviously, it is your job as a homeschool parent to decide when your child is ready to hear about certain topics. So anyway, that is what we are doing for our like fiber arts or art project for probably the foreseeable future, because quilting is long and tedious with kids. All right, guys, that is the science and nature study portions for the Harbor and Sprout Textiles and Fashion unit. I hope that you guys will love it as much as we did. My kids were begging for more the entire month. So it was probably our favorite one to date. And I cannot wait to dig into the next unit. For us, we're going to be doing forensic science next month. So let me know if you guys want to hear an update about that. And I will see you in my next video. Okay, guys, thanks for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. I think I say that every single time, but it's true. So I'm going to give you guys, this isn't so much funny as it is just an update on, I have mentioned a few videos ago that we are looking for a new van. We have decided that we are gonna go ahead and get the Kia Carnival. Likely this will be the one and only brand new car that I will ever buy in my life. And it's just because the way that the car market is right now is so ridiculous. Like, new cars are basically costing about the same as a used car. So, we're gonna go ahead and get a new one. So, I've never owned a new car ever in my life. I always buy used cars. So it feels like kind of a splurge, but it's not really. It's like I said, it costs almost the same amount to get a new one as it does to get a used one right now. So that is the decision that we made. However, okay, you guys, why is it that every time you go to look for cars in your area, I'm sorry about the dogs, guys. They're not my dogs. They are the neighbor's dogs. And every time I go to film something, they bark. They could be completely quiet, and then they bark as soon as I turn on the camera. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, why is it that you try to find, like, you're doing an internet search, and then they're like, oh, we need some information from you. So you put in your information, and then the next day you get 100 messages, text messages, emails, and phone calls from car dealerships trying to sell you a car. And I'm like, I just wanted to know if you had the car. If somebody in my area had the car and how much the car was going to cost, or what color the car was. Because, like, to be honest, I have like 2 colors that I would prefer, but you know, the way that the car market is right now, you can't really be that picky about it. Also, this particular car is very hard to get a hold of, so we're like wanting to have the cash in hand to pay for the car. Guys, I promise you, we do not have a lot of money. We are going to be getting an inheritance from my father-in-law passing away, and the thing that we decided to do was replace our van, because we've had our van for 10 years. It was already old when we bought it, and it is starting to to cost more in repairs than it is worth. So, we are buying a new car with that money that is going to be coming in. But we have never had a car payment. Like I said, we've never had a new car. Neither one of our families has ever had car payments. Like, we just would rather not. So, but we went this week to like talk to a guy about possibly financing a car, because we have some money. We have enough money to make a pretty good down payment on it. But they're like, we have like perfect credit, you guys. I'm not like trying to brag or anything, but like, you'd think that they could work some magic here. The car, they're like, oh, it's gonna cost $42,000. And I'm like, that's like way above what the MSRP is on this car. And he's like, yeah, but there's a dealership markup. And I'm like, okay, well, how much is it going to cost to buy this car? So we were in the car dealership for so many hours, and they would not budge on the price of the car. Anyway, it was going to cost, let me just say that the monthly payment on this car was going to cost as much as our mortgage. So we did not buy the car yet because I don't want to pay 2 mortgages so I can have a car. That is brand new. So we are going to wait until we have the cash in hand. Anyway, the sales guy chased us out into the parking lot going, I'll sell you that one or that one or that one or that one at $12,000 or $15,000 or whatever the amount of money off of the car that you wanted to, this amount that you wanted to pay for the other car. And I was like, see ya. Let me get in my car. I literally had to shut the car door in his face to get out of that place. Anywho, if y'all have some car shopping tips, I would love to hear what they are. So please put those in the comments below. I really need help. Car shopping is hard. I never thought it would be this hard. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.